quick sip of my Alani Blue Slush. Really good flavor, by the way. For all my Alani girlies out there, I know you're out there. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I am excited to update you guys on how things are going in our homeschool. I am a mom of 4 kids. I have kids from high school down to preschool. So we have a lot of age ranges, a lot of different levels in schooling going on here. And I just wanted to give you guys like a really real and raw update on how things are going for us in our homeschool. Sorry, I'm a little congested, by the way, but it is not easy to homeschool. Let's just be real. It is not an easy thing to keep your kids home and educate them and take on that responsibility, especially if you have like 4 kids. I feel like if I had like 1 kid, like, you know, the grass is always greener on the other side, right? I love having all my babies. I want all the babies. If I could have more babies, I would, but we're done. I want all the dogs. Like, I'm crazy. I'm crazy. I'm going to talk about that in this video, but I feel like if I had 1 kid, I'd be able to like really focus on them and homeschool them and then take them to all the activities and everything, and just, it would be a little bit easier. But when you add in more and more kids that you're trying to teach in a day, it does take a good amount of time. And it takes a lot out of you. And I feel like in the homeschooling community especially, I think as a way to try to encourage moms to keep going with homeschooling, they will say like, oh, like homeschool from rest. What is that? That's like a book by Sarah McKenzie or something, like, which I probably need to read, honestly. I've never read it, and I probably do. That'd probably be useful for me right now because she's a smart lady. But I don't think it's really her, but just like the homeschool community will say like, oh, they only need to do school for like 30 minutes to an hour a day, and you know, just let them go play outside and all of that stuff. And while I think some of that is true and can come from a good place, it's also like not really realistic or helpful. And I know other moms, like this Homeschool House, I think is her channel, and the Nerdy Homeschooler, like a lot of homeschool moms have spoken out about this recently here on YouTube, which I really appreciate, because I do feel like at the beginning of my homeschool journey, I fell victim to that, thinking like, oh, homeschooling is so fun and easygoing and easy. And it's like, you get into it and you realize the reality that it's not. And I have friends that have quit homeschooling because it is not easy to homeschool your kids and you get burnt out, which is something I'm going to talk about in this update video, is some of the burnout I've been experiencing recently. And don't worry, I'm not quitting homeschooling. I promised myself a long time ago that we are in this for the long haul, and I do love homeschooling. I do. But sometimes it can burn you out. And I've been feeling that recently. Sure, if you have 1 kid, you can probably spend like an hour, depending on how old they are, a day on like book work. But if you have 4 kids, then that's like, even if they're all just an hour, which it's really not, as they get older, it's more than that. That's like 4 hours plus a day that you're just spending on book work, you know? Now, you can have them doing some individual stuff, but like my oldest, who is 17, all of his stuff is like independent from me. And I would love actually to do a few things with him, but it's just not realistic at this point. So he does all of his schoolwork independently, and then he goes to classical conversations once a week. And that has been a really good balance for us. So that's something I will say as an update that is going well for us. That helps with my overwhelm, is I know at least like he is going once a week and discussing the things he is learning with other people, with a teacher and with his peers. And he's doing speeches, he's doing poetry, he's writing research papers, like he's doing all that along with like his online math curriculum and his The Good and the Beautiful biology curriculum, all those things that are more independent. He also has like his science and music theory and history and all that in classical conversations, and is able to like talk to real people about it. That really takes like the weight off of my shoulders for me, because I would feel so guilty that I wasn't able to get to like some one-on-one stuff with him. as far as his curriculum goes. Now, I do want to spend time with him as his mom, but I just mean like as far as school goes. That, in a minute, ask Henry. That has really helped me. So if you are looking for a solution, if you have like a much older kid with some younger kids, I know that's kind of like a, you know, niche or like specific thing, but I do have another friend that is like that, where she had a child. Her situation was different. For me, I had my oldest when I was just barely 18. I was a teen mom, young single mom, and then I had the rest of my 3 kids when I was married to my husband. So that's why there's that age gap with him. With another friend of mine, she had her son, and then she had experienced secondary infertility for many years. And then now she has like 3 kids, 3 little toddlers and babies and newborns and stuff. So she has kind of a similar age gap to me, and she put her son in private school just because it was very difficult to teach your child when you've got so many little ones in the house. And I fully understand why she did that, because I have experienced the struggle with that. But I will say, if you want to continue homeschooling and you have an older child, putting them in something like a co-op or classical conversations, something like that can be a really helpful balance. And he is 17 now, so he can be more independent. Now, he does do stuff with us, like we do chess club together, and we do this like, it's kind of like PE. It's like a PE club, but we also talk about books. It's like you talk about a book you've been reading this past week, and then they go and do like PE and dodgeball and stuff. It's a really cool club that we're a part of. So we do those things weekly together as a family. And then also Classical Conversations is the same one my little ones go to. And so we go there together. We see him at lunch. We see him in the hallways. Like, we have that in common. And so that's something else that I really love. And honestly, guys, talking about this is making me feel so less burnt out. Just talking about that, like remembering, I think I can get really negative, and just remembering all the things that are going well in our homeschool really helps me. And I feel like that's something that's going so good in our homeschool, is that we are able to balance and still be like a unit, because a big reason I want to homeschool is to keep our family together. And if he was just at public school in high school, he would have a totally different life than us, a totally different life than his younger siblings. Like, his 8-year-old brother gets to like see him in the hallways at our school that we go to once a week. How cool is that? You know, he gets to be like, that's my big brother. And like, he gets to be in chess club with him, and they practice chess together throughout the week. So there is hope. If you have that big age gap, there is definitely hope, and it's possible to homeschool still. But you just have to figure out what works for you. And I think that's something that I've been doing for a while now, is really just troubleshooting constantly. And I can be pretty negative, like that's something I struggle with, but I am also like super determined. Like, if I want something, I'm getting it. I'm going to prove everyone wrong, and I'm not going to give up. Like, I am like a fighter. And so, you know, positives and negatives. I feel like my fighter personality is a really good part of my personality, and my negative side, where I can see the bad parts of things, is like a bad part of my personality. But anyway, so there is hope for if you are feeling burnt out or frustrated. Keep troubleshooting. So that's what I need to tell myself, because that part is going well. Something that's going poorly as far as my teenager goes, my 17-year-old that has been burning me out, that's been contributing to my burnout, is sometimes he will not do his school. So like, he is expected to get up and do his chores every morning. He has chores he does. A lot of it is like taking care of our dog. That's like a big part of his chores. As well as like unloading the dishwasher, doing his own laundry, cleaning his own room, his bathroom, stuff like that. So picking up dog poop, like everything. So he has chores he's supposed to do in the morning, and then I allow him to bathe, and then he is supposed to get started on his school, and he will not do it sometimes. And that will really frustrate me, because I will tell him like, hey, you need to do your school. You're 17. I should not have to be like hammering it down, like telling you just Monday through Friday we do school, you know, and you have it so much easier than people in public school. Like, you get to sleep in and all of that, like just do your school. So that has been something that's been burning me out, and I don't know if you can feel that like, just frustration and like tightness in my chest about it. And I think that's partly a me problem. Like I get too like emotionally wrapped up in it, and I need to just more calmly be like, look, just come downstairs, sit at the dining room table, do your school, you know? I think what's annoying is he'll be like, okay, and then 10 minutes later, he's still not down here. And so it is a fight. It is a fight somewhat, and that's hard. But if he was in public school, it would be a fight to get him to do his homework and to prepare for tests and do projects, and we would have all these other like issues and fights going on. Whereas at least this, I know exactly what he's supposed to be doing because I'm his teacher. Even with classical conversations, I'm fully wrapped up in knowing what he's doing and what he's supposed to be doing. I get like emails and text messages from his tutor at classical conversations. Like, you're just so much more connected than you are in public school. So, but that has been a part that has just been a struggle for me and burning me out and frustrating me. And then the other side has been with my little ones. So I have 3 little ones. I have a 3rd grader, 1st grader, and preschooler. So they're all doing school now. Like my preschooler, it's pretty short, but she's still doing school, and we're like in the thick of, you know, learning the letters, uppercase and lowercase, and their sounds. And that takes, you know, a good amount of practice and repetition and consistency and everything. So I feel like when you're getting into the thick of like learning to read, it becomes kind of taxing. A little bit more. It becomes kind of taxing. As you can see, I'm interrupted constantly too, just trying to film this update for you guys. But it becomes taxing teaching your child to read. It's not an easy thing. Maybe some kids just pick it up like that and it's just like boom. But for my kids, it has not been that way. It has been like, you know, a lot of consistency and everything. And I would say my youngest, she's the most receptive to school. And yet still it takes a lot of practice, and there's emotions. I think I'm really burnt out from like the emotions of everything. Like my emotions towards like my teenager and him not doing what he's supposed to do. And then like my little ones' emotions when they get frustrated, when they get something wrong when we're doing school, and trying to, okay, that looks good, and trying to encourage them and all of that. So I don't know. I'm also sick, and so that doesn't help as I drink my energy drink. But I just noticed, so this is a part of my personality too. I have to have my aquifer. I just noticed that I go through these things. Like I said, I'm pretty fierce, pretty determined. And so that is like one side of my personality, like go, 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 go. And then I have this side where I get like, it's kind of like a depression. I don't know. Although I don't feel like I deal with depression as much as I used to. I feel like I've really overcome that. But it's like low energy. I just get much less energy, and I'm not feeling as like ready to go. And I have been trying to take care of myself. You know, like I was having those chest pains last year, and so I have lost like 17 pounds, and I started working out and really like focusing on myself, but it's not easy. So I would say something I've been doing to like deal with the burnout is one, I have just not been doing our morning time. We aren't doing our morning time. And I would say a positive to classical conversations is at least they're getting that once a week. And it's a very efficient, tiring, but efficient day. And they're, you know, practicing the songs and working on music theory. They're doing tin whistle right now, and they're doing all of that, and it's a very intense, like, hours, you know, whereas at home, you know, we only spend like 30 minutes to an hour on morning time anyway. So they are getting like 3 hours of that a week. And I am there fully present, helping the entire time, going through different classrooms. Like, it's pretty tiring, but we get that done and we do that. And so that kind of helps, like, with, I think consistent things like that are really good for my personality, because when I am going through this slump, which inevitably happens, and I think also it makes sense that I'm feeling burnt out because it's like the end of the semester. And I think after like months of doing school with my kids, I just start to naturally get tired. I think that's normal. Everyone needs breaks and stuff. So, at least we have that, but I have not been doing our morning time. So I have just been letting them sleep in. They wake up when they want to wake up, and they watch a show or play the VR or play video games or do whatever in the mornings while I do my 30-minute incline walk. And then I have my eggs. I kind of do OMAD, 1 meal a day, although I've been kind of cheating and so I haven't been losing weight, so I need to get back with that. But I have like my special little meal where I have my energy drink and my eggs, and I read a book. I've been reading The Will of the Many. It's okay. I'm like 200 pages into it and I'm still kind of like, but I'm hoping it's gonna get better. It's a really long book, but I enjoy reading, so I sit down, I read, I have my breakfast, and I just have peace. And then I go and shower. And sometimes I put on makeup, sometimes not. A lot of days during the week I am putting on makeup because we're going somewhere and I just kind of feel like it, but sometimes I don't. And so that's like my me time. Work out, eat my main meal of the day, and shower. And that takes a good amount of time. And I've also been letting myself sleep in more, especially now that I'm sick. I have been waking up pretty early and, getting my workout in and then going straight into our morning time and all of that. And that was when I was much more high energy. And I would do my eating and reading like when they were on a break from school. But I just have not had the energy for that. And I've just felt this need to take care of myself a little bit. So I have my time in the morning. And then we start school when we're doing our individual subjects when I'm done with all of that. And it bothers me because I really like our morning time and like our read aloud time and everything. And it bothers me that we're not getting that in. I have been thinking I need to read to them before bed as a way to get our read aloud time in. Because I have, I can just spend like 15 to 30 minutes doing that. So I think I'm going to try to do that to fit in our read aloud. But yeah, I think I just kind of need to give myself this. We are about to have like a 5 or 6 week break from classical conversations, like all of December and a couple weeks into January. So we have like 2 weeks left of classical conversations. So that will be good. Because it's just like one less activity that we're doing. And so I think that will allow me to like really get a good break during this time. And maybe I'm hoping that in the next semester I can get back into our morning time. But I have no intentions or desire or plan to get back into doing our morning time until then. I'm kind of giving myself a break without fully taking a break from school, but I'm giving myself a good amount of time because I'm just burnt out, guys. I'm just emotionally drained, physically drained. We have a lot of activities we do, which is the other thing. And I actually have been realizing, me, I've been showing y'all tons of different curriculum, and I really do like curriculum, but at the end of the day, there's only so much time for curriculum. And I think I also really love activities. I love curriculum, but I also love activities. And I'm starting to realize that we have a lot of activities that we're doing. And if I want to continue doing those, I can't have like multiple math curriculum and stuff that we're doing. There's just not enough time if I'm sitting individually with my kids to do that. So like I've told myself, like logic type curriculum, my kids spend an hour and a half at a chess club once a week. And they practice chess naturally throughout the week. That's a ton of logic and problem solving and puzzles and things. And we have games that we like to play. So I think I would rather just play our fun logic games and do chess and that be our logic. And so I don't need like a curriculum for that. You know what I mean? And like we have our PE and our like little book club thing that we do, that is like a little extracurricular thing that we do that's good for them and that I like. And so I'm trying to get more realistic when it comes to our curriculum. Like the Good and the Beautiful language arts is really good for us because it just gets it done. And I think it gets it done thoroughly enough to my satisfaction. Like instead of doing so much curriculum, I want my kids to just be reading and like enjoy reading. You know what I mean? And just like find enjoyment and love of that like I have. It's something that's a really good thing for me as an adult. And so that's something I've been thinking about is just focusing on reading. Like for my first grader, he's still doing kindergarten language arts with the Good and the Beautiful. And we are focusing on the booster cards right now. And so I just stopped doing the book work. And what I realized is he's like flying through these booster cards and he's learning to read. And we read the little readers and everything. And so we don't really need the workbook right now. Now, is it good to do? Is it like an extra good thing to reinforce what he's learning? Yes, 100%. But I would like him to be on first grade level because I think mentally he's ready for that. He just has some gaps. And so we are just going to focus on finishing these booster cards. And then I think I'm about to do like a Good and the Beautiful order because they're almost done with their handwriting. I think I'm actually going to have my third grader do like one of their lower level handwritings for print because I'm realizing he doesn't know some of the letters when he's trying to write them, or he writes them backwards a little bit and stuff. So I'm going to have him go back to like a lower level that's not so cursive heavy like the upper levels are. And I'm going to get a handwriting for my little guy. And then I think my daughter, who's 4, she might be ready. I haven't had her do handwriting yet. I mean, she does it kind of in her preschool curriculum, but I might get her like maybe the scribbles or something, handwriting for her to start doing as well. So I'm going to do a Good and the Beautiful order for that. And I think I'm going to get the first grade level language arts for my first grader because I really think we can just get through these booster cards and then start the first grade level. And I think just for me mentally, that will make me feel better and more motivated to do the physical workbook when I know I'm like, okay, we're on grade level now. Like, he's doing well with this. And so, yeah, so I think that's what we're going to do is just finish the booster cards for level A and move into their first grade level. And fingers crossed, he does well with that, does okay. He's really making big strides with his reading and picking things up really quickly. So it was like a struggle to get him to start reading. And then once he did, he is really started to pick it up. So I think it's going to be okay. But that's my plan for that. So right now we're just doing that. And then like with his math, I have started to switch to mostly Math Mammoth with him. I did a video saying that I got that curriculum and we're still using Math with Confidence, but I've realized that in this burnt out phase I'm in right now, Math with Confidence is just a slog for me. Like I don't want to do it because it's so many like moving parts and pieces and they're throwing all of the counters on the ground and it's just like very overstimulating and a lot for me right now. And so it's just Math Mammoth, I feel like is really strong on teaching conceptually and teaching the like mental math, which is something I'm really like, I really want my kids to get strong in mental math while also not being so like all over the place with all the pieces you need and everything. So I still kind of want to combine the two, but right now he's just doing Math Mammoth for the most part. I'll look at like, I'll have him do like the workbook. It's actually right here for Math with Confidence. I'll have him do like some pages in the workbook. And sometimes I'll look at in the teacher's manual the review and just like ask him questions about the review when it comes to like money or whatever, and just do that. So I still am kind of using it, but I'm leaning much more into Math Mammoth because there's just less moving parts. And I think that that's just, I need to get realistic about our school and about how much time we want to spend each day on our book work while we have a lot of other extracurriculars that we enjoy. Soccer season has ended, which in a way is really nice because that's just like one less thing we have to do. So I think that's just going to allow me to rest for a little bit. Henry, my 8-year-old, is going to do basketball, but we have like a month or a little bit less than a month until that practices and stuff start up for that. So we're going to get a break from some of our sports. They still will have piano, which that's another thing they do. They learn music theory at Classical Conversations. They have piano lessons once a week. Like, we have all these other things that are very enriching and good for the mind. And they may not be like book work, like written down book work, but they're so good. Like learning an instrument, especially piano, is really good for you when it comes to your math side of your brain and everything. So I think I really enjoy giving my kids these lifelong skills and these activities. They really enjoy it too. So I think we're going to lean more into that, and we're just going to find our sweet spot with our curriculum and do our curriculum to make sure they're learning to read and they're getting a strong foundation in math, and use classical conversations as our extras. Eventually, I do love our morning time. Like, I do love sitting down at a table with all of my kids and like reading to all of them and teaching them. It can be hard still when they're this young, although I do feel like they've been doing better. What's funny too, and this is just an example of my personality, and I'm going to end this video, I think, on this because it's getting too long and I'm just jabbering along. So if you're still here, thanks for listening to me. But I think in my last update, it was that one or the one before, I was like, I'm killing it. Like, I am killing it in school. And that's when we were doing classical conversations, and we were still doing our morning time. And we were getting all our schoolwork done and then going to all our activities, and I was just killing it. And so that's me, my personality, when I'm in the up and I'm high energy. And then here I am in the down. And I've noticed this since a counselor pointed it out to me in my early 20s. It sounds bipolar or something, which hopefully I'm not that, I don't know, but I don't feel like I'm going crazy or anything. I just have less energy at times. Like, I have like a lot of energy. I feel like more than some average people. And then I have like less energy than average people. Whereas my husband has like steady energy. Thank goodness. One of us has to. So he's more like, no, he's not like trying to do 1,000 things, but he's also not like going into slumps. He's just like right here. So we need that. He's the provider of the family, and that goes really well for the provider. So, but yeah, it's so funny. I was just thinking that, like, my last video, I was just like, oh, I'm killing it. And then now this video, I'm like, I'm burnt out. But I'm trying to give myself grace and just realize that this too shall pass. Things will be okay. I am doing the best I can, and I'm not trying to give myself like excuses like, oh, we don't need to do school for months, or we can just take 2 months off school. Like, no, we're still doing our individual subjects, and we're going to keep doing it even when we have a break from classical conversations. That's when I'm going to really try to focus on our individual subjects and really make sure my kids are caught up and on schedule for that, and really reading and learning. I want us to go to Barnes & Noble more often and get books and just be reading a lot and foster that love in our family, because that's another thing that I feel like we don't do enough, is just go to Barnes & Noble and get books. And that's something my dad did with me as a kid, like weekly, and now I love reading. And he didn't do that. He did that with me and my little sister. He didn't do that with my 3 older sisters. There's like an age gap. So he came up with that idea when it was me and my little sister, and we both love to read, and my older sisters do not. So I really think it worked, and it was like a weekly thing that he did. And so like that consistency really sparked a love. And it wasn't like he was forcing me to read certain books. Like, he would just go let me pick out. We go to the children's section, or eventually the YA section, and I would spend hours picking out books, and it was so much fun. And my sister did the same. So and now we both love reading as adults. So that's something I really want to focus on, and focus a little bit less on trying to do like a billion curriculum. That's just not for me. Like, I think I see some creators, YouTubers out there doing that, and I just think that's what I should be doing, but I need to find what's right for me. So trying to give myself grace during this time. So if you are also feeling burnt out, definitely let me know in the comments what you do for that. Like, do you have anything you do? I've kind of tried to say in this video what I'm doing and how I'm dealing with it. I'm taking care of myself in the mornings, and just kind of limiting our school a little bit, and then we go to all of our activities. And the kids have also been playing. They play outside a ton, and they play with neighbor kids and stuff, which is really good for them. So anyway, I would love to know what you do when you're feeling burnt out, because I feel like I can't be the only homeschool mom who feels this way. And I think that there's like, you're at a risk of quitting homeschooling when you're feeling burnt out. And I'm just like so dedicated to homeschooling, it's not happening, but I definitely can see why people do quit, because it gets hard when you're burnt out. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. It was just a very chatty update video on how things are going for us. And yeah, just let me know how things are going for you in the comments below. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. One day I'd love to do a Q&A, but I never get enough questions. So I feel like I've said that a lot. One day, maybe I can compile like 5 questions and do a Q&A, because you know how chatty I am. I'd just love to talk more to you guys about stuff. So anyway, we have got to go to our book and PE club. So gotta get ready for that. So talk to you later. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Definitely subscribe if you're new and click the bell to be notified when I post new videos. Bye.